You guys, we are here back, and I have my co-host with me today, Tamala, and we are here to talk about Carmelo Anthony. You guys know he was found guilty of murder. A lot of people were shocked about that. Guilty. He was sentenced to 35 years, but I do have some good news. He is going to be filing for an appeal. So, were you shocked, Tamala, when you heard about that? He was found guilty. Did that shock you?
No, Gigi, I was not shocked because I felt like it was a setup from the beginning. This is a straight A student. This is not a student that goes, this is not a child that is this in and out of the system, always doing something. But this is a straight A student, never had any violence whatsoever on his record. Never. But the bully did, Austin did. And what got me is because the judge, the DA, and the dad are all friends.
What?
Yes, they're
I
all
heard
friends.
about that. Is that
Yes,
illegal? How can that be? How can they be friends?
Gigi, you know, they're going to stay. This is how they're going to stay. Even though they're friends, they're going to say, well, I can still make a good judgment. I don't have to. But at the end of the day, I felt like they should have had to step down anyway. Because if you're friends with the DA, the judge and the DA is friends, good friends. Okay. And then the judge and the DA and the dad is friends. Come on now. And the kids sound coerced. The kids sounded like they were coerced. They said one thing when they first gave their statement and then retracted. No, because they were coerced. So therefore they're scared because they didn't want to get off the team. They know the truth. A lot of parents know the truth, but they're sitting on that truth. And that's why you won't see a lot of, excuse my French, but no offense to a lot of you Caucasians in the crowd, but that's why you won't see a lot of them that's in that church on Sunday morning. You won't see a lot of them in heaven. They're going to go straight to hell and burn because at the end of the day, they knew that was wrong. And then they're going to state about the young man, going to say, well, why would he take a knife to school? But you can't, these days, the knife is not the subject because people take pepper spray to school. And that's dangerous. When kids getting fighting or whatever. But we live in a dangerous world. So what was he supposed to take to defend himself? And then my thing is, one of the guys told him to leave and he felt like he had a right to be there. He had a right to be there. This is a free country, supposed to be. So he has a right, but then the bully, Austin is the bully. And then, you going to jump on him. Y'all jump on him. He had black eyes and everything. Y'all really doing it to this boy? And then here it is. They're going to give him 35 years. No, this is unacceptable. And, my thing is our black people have to start open their eyes and see that, yes, we try to live in colors that were, but they still want to put us in black and white. It's not black and white, but they're going to do that as long as we don't stand up. Some people should have came out and spoke out for this boy. A lot of people, I am saddened about the public. I really am sad because people speak out when they want to speak out. Look at Child. He got off. Rick Child got off. George Zimmerman got off. You could just name a whole lot of that getting off from what they do to our children. And so it's just crazy work. It's just crazy work, and it's sad. It's really sad because we live in a world that everything is going back. Everything is going back. And people say, oh, it's going to get better. No, it's not going to get better until Jesus comes. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. We're living in a worse world. Ain't nobody, and this is sad that this young boy, whole life is being destroyed. But then you got this young man, Austin, who has a record, it's on record that he's been a bully. He's been doing this and that. And the dad just keeps slapping it. And just because his dad knows the judge and different ones in the community, he just keeps getting slapped on the wrist. Now, that's the child that needs to be arrested. And that's the child that everybody should have been like, I understand that everything was wrong, but he got a little bit of what he deserved. Let's tell the truth here.
Mm.
You can't keep
Nah,
going around bullying people.
that's right. And y'all, let's get the likes up. But Tamala, I heard it was not a knife. Everybody keeps saying it a knife, but it was not a knife. It was something that he already had, one of his equipments to his track shoes, because he was there for his track meet. The Austin guy, y'all didn't have no track meet. It wasn't you.
Right, but Gigi, as you supposed to be Christians, okay? You supposed to be good to your fellow men. Why wouldn't you let it storming outside? Why wouldn't you let a child, no matter what color they are, get under a tent? You mean to tell me you fighting another child about a tent? That should have been off. That should have been off right there. And for
But it
one, the
wasn't
coach.
about the tent. The guy said he's a monkey. He was making texts. He said, I wish one of the monkeys would show up at the track meet. So it wasn't about no tent. It was
But
about
that's
they
what they
didn't like
said.
him.
But that's what they stated. It was about the tent. Okay, so I'm just going about what they stated, Gigi. That it was
Right.
about
I feel you.
supposed to be right. It's supposed to be about the tent. But yes, he did call yes, he did say about the monkey. No, monkeys better not show up. But see, that's a racial slur, as it is. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, he didn't get no penalty for the things that he said. That's why I don't understand it. I don't understand the system. I don't understand this black and white situation because I do understand the black and white situation. Okay. I do understand that, but I don't understand the school system because they see these type of young men in their school doing this to other nationality of kids and they don't stop it. And then you wonder why a lot of kids go home and be like so suicidal and excuse me, sidey, and they go home from school and then they feel like, oh, I got to lock myself in my room because you got all these bullies. But then you got a child that stands up for himself. And then y'all want to say, oh, my child was the victim. Stop trying to act like those children are the victim when your children are animals as well as some of the other races could be animals. Okay. So that boy, he knew what he was doing. He did that wrong. And I think what Karmelo Anthony got, I think that was dead wrong. I really do. And I think some people, that got money, all these celebrities and stuff that got money, I think they should be able to put it up and get a defense for him. Because at the end of the day, let's start helping those that need help. This is a straight A student. Just like the Genesis 5. You remember when they try to accuse them, Gigi?
Yeah.
It goes back to all that. Come on now. You ruin it out. Just like Khalifa Browder. He never once did anything. He was just a boy walking with a backpack. But they arrested him, put him in prison. He kept telling them he was innocent. But guess what? No matter money you give me, it's unacceptable. It's not acceptable.
Hold on, Peanut, don't log off. If you got something to say, Peanut, hit that link and come up here. This forum is an open forum, so anybody can speak, but that's the problem. You guys want to log off when the conversation gets heated. You want to run away from the truth. And someone said, Stacy on a Facebook said it was a utility knife they use for their cleats, 3.5-inch cleats. All right. So
Okay.
cleats are the shoes, the track shoes that they use.
Right.
So I say that to say that he didn't come with the intention, I'm gonna breathe this utility knife to do something horrible. It was for his track shoes because he had a track meet. It was his track meet, you know?
Gigi, the thing is these people who try to make it seem like that this boy came for that. He never came for that because if it was all about that, he could have did something way before then. Okay, he had all the opportunities if he wanted to do something to this young man. He didn't want to do nothing to this young man. This young man pushed it. He pushed the issue. He pushed it and pushed it.
Right.
And sometimes when you keep pushing, poking the bear, as some of my friends be saying, you poke the bear, eventually the bear gonna come out swinging.
Right.
And that's what that young man
did you guys know this? It was four white boys that walked up to him and threatened Karmelo Anthony.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
That
The
that's
one
that's intimidating alone. And he was protecting himself.
Absolutely. One guy tried to warn him though. He did try told him to leave. I guess it's figured like he knew something was going on because he was,
They were
down.
probably texting each other. They were probably
Yeah.
somebody in that tent probably told him, "Yeah, he's here. The monkey is here." And but have they subpoena all those text messages? Could we get all the text messages? But
That they haven't, Gigi. They probably had like I said, when people family know each other, okay, they're not gonna do all that as they should. Do you see what I'm
oh,
saying? Like they did with the case with what's his name, Stefan? How they got how they had all of Camilla's text messages. They should have had all their text messages on their phones.
now, Kathy said nightmare, teach your kids. You know what, Kathy? Let me tell you about that white boy, Austin. They said he was a nightmare. They said he used to beat on his father, he fight his father, he disobey his father. They say he's a bully. And
He
so
is.
why don't you use that same rhetoric? Now, when it comes to the black boy, guess what? He was raised in a two household and they were both Christians, okay? So Booyah and Anthony Carmelo, he didn't have any price. He didn't have no history or track record. Okay, so all that you're saying is baloney.
And then Gigi, my thing is put the little boy face up against Carmelo Anthony, the face that they show. He looks like a bully. You can look at him and tell that he's a bully. You can just look at him and tell that he's one of those kind that likes to bully people. It's just that people have to stop. And that's why I say accountability is everything. People have to stop shoving the poop under the rug and act like some of those of us, ours smell like roses and some of y'all's are real foul. No, call it what it is. Cause it's sad. It's sad this boy, if he don't get a pill and his whole life will be destroyed. Destroyed. And I think they need a new judge. I think they should have asked for a change of venue because they should have had that trial out of that county. And maybe that's why his lawyer didn't go press hard. Maybe I'm going to assume that's probably why his lawyer didn't go hard, because maybe he's going to come back and use all this information. And he should. He should. And then the kids, they were coerced. You could come on now, Gigi. Look at the statements they gave at the beginning. They gave at the beginning that the boy was a bully. But then all of a sudden they get in court and it's totally a different story.
Yes.
Oh, that's not what I really meant by that. What did you mean? Because that's what it says.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying.
You still want
You
me
know
to
what
pull
it
that
is.
picture up, honey?
Oh, yeah. You can pull it
Okay.
up and let them see. He looks like
Okay.
a bully.
Okay. And honey is Peanut is here too. I'm gonna bring her up. So
Okay,
there's
bring on.
what you gotta say about the picture. Do you
Yes,
see
he
it?
looks like a he looks like an angry kid. Angry kids that come from a decent family, but he's angry and bitter, and so he bullying everybody because he's an angry, bitter, want to be a victim, but he's not. But he feels like he's a victim. I don't know what's going on in his home,
Well,
but
his home is a broken home. His father was not in the
absolutely,
household. He didn't raise him. So he have
absolutely,
issues. He
that's
got a lot
right.
of issues.
And that's what I'm saying, Gigi. Now you see what I'm saying.
I
That's
don't
all I'm saying right there. This boy got a lot of issues, and his issues wasn't with Carmelo, but he made it with Carmelo.
No,
He
he had
wanted to
issues.
bully
No,
somebody.
no, he had issues with Carmelo. He definitely did. Carmelo was well known in that area. He was well known in that area. He is well known in that area. He is very well known in that area. He was not a self-appointed captain. He was not appointed as the captain of the football team by the coaches. His team appointed him. He was well known as Mello. So them
Right.
boys, when they approached him, they already knew who he was. The only reason why
Yes.
he was not participating in track and field was because he had a football injury that prevented
Right.
him from finishing his season. So we're not going to act like them kids getting up there lying is not a thing, because he was well known in those count in those in that county. We all know those doggone freaking kids when we was in high school that was
Absolutely.
star athletes.
Absolutely.
It doesn't even matter if they was a part of your school or not. You knew who they were. And
That's right.
Mello was one of those kids. So let's not do that. And if we're going to
Absolutely.
do a fair comparison, I need a picture of Carmelo standing up tall, and I need a picture of that Joker standing up tall next to his
Absolutely.
brother. Don't just show no face to face thing, because that's not going to be accurate.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, he looked mean here. They're gonna show Carmelo looking mean. Them was some big boys.
Right. Right. They
And
were now.
he was a little dude. And let's not
Yes, he
also,
was.
and my apologies. Good evening, Miss Gigi. How are you?
Good. Go ahead. You know I like when y'all come in hot. Go ahead.
You know, I
Go
ain't been
ahead.
up here.
Yes.
I ain't been up here in a minute. You forgot who I was.
No, I know Peanut Girl. I did forget, but I heard your voice and it came back. Go ahead. This is an open panel, you all, so anybody is welcome to come up and speak. Go ahead, Peanut.
So with
That
that,
finished being
so with that being said, they got up there and they freaking lied.
right. Right. And
They
that's what I was
lied.
telling Gigi. They lied. They retract their story. They shouldn't have been allowed to do that. They should be in contempt of court. You know, to me, that's perjury because you knew what you were saying in the beginning.
Not only that, where was Hunter?
Yeah.
Where was Hunter? Why he ain't come? Why he ain't
Right.
testify? Remember, he
Right.
said in one of his interviews, he was holding his brother as he took his last breath. But
Come
then
on
in the
now.
911 call, he was nowhere there.
Right.
Now let's also remember that it was literally stated that the Jokers weren't even there. They went to the middle school to say hey to their previous coaches. Carmelo was in that tent chilling, talking to the person that called him over there. Nobody said anything. The
Right.
surviving twin was in the tent himself, chilling on his phone. It wasn't
And
a problem until the deceased teenager came over there, making it an issue. And in that video that has not been released, and I'm waiting for y'all to release it. Y'all better release it. I'm trying to tell you right now. Y'all better release that video. Y'all surrounded him. And then
I,
y'all, and then y'all
and
got
I'm
the nerve
all
to
for
try to
you,
take
Miss
him
Peanut.
up.
I'm all for you, honey. I'm rolling with you on this one, Miss Peanut. I am. I'm rolling with you, girl.
Oh, I'm
Cause
38
this
high.
is yes, I know. Everybody was 38 high. Girl, people was out there crying and everything. I saw it on the news. You know, one woman was screaming and all that. Yeah, people are going. Yeah, this is probably going to cause a nice little ride, and I don't blame them. Maybe they'll
And,
stop
and
lying.
not only that, like y'all parents got nerve to try to show up and cry and complain about everybody else's crowdfunding money when y'all had two separate accounts collecting money
Right.
for one kid. Y'all doing separate interviews, smiling in y'all interviews, and then trying to fake cry at the same time.
Come on, girl. You better sell it. You better tell it. Walk it down. Walk it down.
Y'all done lost y'all rabbit mind. Why Hunter ain't testify? That's his brother. He the twin. Y'all want to sit up and say he lost his twin. Why he ain't testify? Because he knew everything he initially told the police and all these doggone press conferences he was having was doggone freaking be brought up with how many different stories he told. Because he said initially that they attacked Carmelo. Did he not?
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did say that. He did say that. And that's why I'm saying, that's what I said. That's what I was getting ready to say. Why he didn't come to court. Why he didn't come to court. See, they
Because
kept him at home.
he was refusing to testify.
Right. Because
No,
that's why I said,
he was on the witness list. The Joker was
oh,
refusing.
yes.
He was
Oh,
refusing to
yes.
testify.
Oh, yes. Because he would have got up there and broke, and told the truth. And that's why they did. Because they scamming. The family is.
And that's another thing. The attorney was not a public defender. He
No,
was
he
not.
was not.
He was a paid attorney. So that should be even more of a reason to be upset. This is what they paid for.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, and folks may get upset with me. Gigi already know. Folks may get upset with me what I'm about to say. He should have took the
Go ahead, baby.
manslaughter. He should have took the manslaughter. He should have. He should have took the manslaughter. He should not have taken this trial. He should have just took the manslaughter. Because the moment he didn't, and they came out with the guilty, my heart dropped, and I said, "Oh, they about to give him 18 to 30." It's still on my Facebook page right now. They gonna give him 18 to 30.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't have took the manslaughter. I wouldn't have took the
He
manslaughter
could have took
because
the
you know,
man. He could have took the manslaughter and did a year in the county and probation.
yeah, but he ain't guilty of nothing. He really ain't guilty. I don't care what they saying. I don't care if they say he took. People take different things to school every day. Batons to hit a person with. You know, people give kids they give kids pepper spray, different things. People take things to school. Come on now, they trying to act like he came to school with that. If he
I'm
really
not
wanted to
saying,
do something,
Mom. I'm not
no, what
saying
I'm
that.
saying, ma'am, if he really wanted to do something to them, he could have been to did this,
I
did
believe you.
something.
I
And
believe
my
you.
thing is, I just feel like he shouldn't have never took it. I think what he doing right now is keep proving his innocence. I think he's gonna be all right. Because let me just say this: God gonna show up and show out. I feel that in my heart because this is unacceptable right here. This is just so
You could say
unacceptable.
that.
And, and
You could say that all day, but we not pulling his time.
that's right. That's true.
We
But
not pulling his time.
at the end of the day, ma'am, we got to quit telling our kids to take this stuff, and then they get a record,
I'm not. I'm
and then
not
it's hard
saying
to.
that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is be aware of what you're putting the predicament that you're putting yourself in. He's in Texas. Texas. They don't play.
Yeah,
Texas and
that's right.
Florida don't
I
play.
know. I used to live there. Don't mess with Texas. That's the.
Don't mess with Texas and don't mess with Florida. So no, he did not take it there with the intentions to do what happened. I'm not saying that I'm not even saying he was wrong for carrying the knife because legally it was not a problem because he did not take it to the schoolhouse. It was just on school property, but it was not at that schoolhouse, which is why he was expelled for the rest of the year. But knowing that that was going to be brought up and knowing how it was going, he was still offered a plea deal. They kept offering it to him. After the first day, his parents could not fire that attorney. After trial started, after a certain point, you can't fire your attorney without justification. And if you do, they're going to tell you that you got to represent yourself. So once he seen how everything was going, I would have took the plea. Because at the end of the day, the way Texas was going to look at it is exactly how they looked at it. I wouldn't have asked my son to take a plea. If it was my kid, I'd be like, "No, we're gonna take this to trial." But knowing that it's Texas, I would have been like, I'm sorry, son, I don't know. I would have been that mama that just would have been told to stay away from everything. Because I would have been like, baby, just take the plea. At least you can give me some grandbabies. At least you can enjoy your life. And then they turn around, found him guilty of first degree. And we all know that is not the case. I literally watched attorneys and prosecutors go off after the verdict was given. They went off more after the sentence was given. Nobody agrees with that state of Texas or the jurors. But this is what we deal with all the freaking time. So why are you not making better decisions? That's all I'm saying. Make better decisions. Think more wisely. Because nobody is going to care more about your life than you. Nobody. And that's what makes me so upset even more. More people sat up here and told him to take it to trial versus looking at everything as a whole. Everybody knows how that county is set up. It's easily like you can easily Google it. That's Clantown. There was no way he was not going to walk away without pulling some time.
Ooh, look at this. Look at this, Peanut. What's your thoughts?
That's been all over the internet. They got more pictures with weapons. But they highlighted just one that Carmelo had with his friends, and he was in the picture with other white people. But why ain't nobody showing this? Where's all the deer hunting photos of them posing with doggone deceased animals? You won't see that. This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. But my apologies. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you good, honey. Keep going.
Did she drop down? Did I make her upset?
No, no, that's just her phone. It does that.
Okay. I'm about to say I
It's
didn't mean to make you upset. My
child,
apologies.
it's expected. Hopefully it should come back when that phone get turned back on.
But I just don't understand. And then the way the jury pool was done, I don't like it. I disagree with it. All the way down to the rumors on like at the end of the day, the trial should have been televised. That would have stopped a lot of things if the trial was televised. But they didn't want anybody to know what they were doing in that courtroom, which is why they selected the smallest courtroom to allow the minimum amount of people in there to control the narrative. That's why they handpicked certain journalists to come in. Miss Gigi, you could probably go in there and get a press pass. I know I got one, and I ain't even as big as you.
Mm.
But they were handpicking everything to control the narrative. I don't understand why this young man allowed everyone around him to fail him. And I have to research this part of things because I was in somebody's comments earlier today and they was just like the family fired two previous attorneys just to end up with this white man that failed him even more than the other ones were doing. I have to research that. So I am going to personally pay for the transcripts of his case from the beginning to the end.
Yep.
Dismissals, dismissals of attorneys and everything else, because I want to know if that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too. I seen it too. So I can look it up and we can look at some videos about it. Um, yeah.
But no, they definitely were trying to start a race war out there outside the courthouse. They definitely were. I see that comment. They definitely were, and a couple of people was arrested yesterday. I'm
They still
surprised.
doing it online. They're blaming the mom. I mean, I'm looking at different quotes as I go, and
Even
they are blaming the mom.
yeah, even us in our community as Black folks is blaming them all.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a lot of, our people is going to betray us to get
Hmm.
some it's pygmies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's heartbreaking. And then to break down everything, um, it's even more. It's just heartbreaking. Which is why, like, once it get to a certain point, the plea deal is off the table. The plea deal is off the table. But I once his parents should have told him to take a plea once they seen that he was not calling any expert witnesses. That right there is a shocker to me. You had his whole high school teacher that was coming to court with him daily to support him. You didn't call her. You didn't call any bully witnesses. You didn't call anybody to prove that when he poked that joker, it was when he yanked him up in the air as if he was in a football move, as if he was about to slam him. You have so many major arteries in your body that a bone that broke the wrong way can make you bleed out. And he's small, he's not a big dude. So slamming him the wrong way can be detrimental. Why the attorney never brought that up? Nobody even spoke about the angle that the knife penetrated. You just spoke about the depth of it. Even the medical examiner didn't speak on that. The attorney played a role. I don't care what nobody say. The attorney
Oh
played a role.
yes, I believe so too. I believe he was paid off. I
The
believe he was
attorney,
paid off.
but at the same time, that them photos that's circulating is not the attorney and it's not the judge. But the attorney and the prosecutor know each other
Yes,
and they
and the
used to work
DA too.
together.
Yes,
That's
and the
what yeah,
DA too.
that's what I'm talking about. Them two know
Yeah.
each other. They used to work together.
Yes,
And
and
with
they
that being
friends with the daddy.
and
They
with that
also
being
friends with.
said, exactly. And with that being said, that's how a lot of y'all local courthouses operate. They all
Ooh, you
sit
better
down
say
and have lunch together.
coffee breaks and everything, honey. Yes, baby.
Everything. I done sat down with a few of them, with the sheriff. We went to White
Girl,
House
and
and
so have
everything.
I. And so have I. I work for the Chambers of Commerce and I see it every day. All of them come in that boardroom. And I'll be like, dang, how this sheriff know him?
That
Oh,
part. I
okay. They
always
all friends.
that part, ma'am. Every time somebody say something about going to trial, get an outside attorney. And make sure they're not a combined attorneys because a lot of these districts are still connected.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Absolutely.
But you
Absolutely.
can go ahead because I just been running off at the mouth because I'm still 38. Go ahead.
That's okay, Miss Peanut. I like your opinion, baby. I love your opinion. You got facts,
I
baby.
still think he should have took the plea, knowing that that knowing what he was dealing with. I still feel like he would have got off better if he took the plea. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I understand because at the end of the day, you saying you prefer him not to do that much time than that. But I'm gonna say this, if people would step up and help him with his appeal with a new lawyer, and everything, I think this boy is gonna walk. I really do with the new, bringing all the evidence that they have that didn't bring up, and then the statements. Let me tell you something. Appeal court will knock this out the frame. Even, I'm gonna tell you something, even the Innocent Project. If the family don't know where to go to, contact the Innocent Project and tell them what happened. Because they get to take so many cases a year. So maybe your child's cases may be one of them that they will be willing to take. But the Innocent Project will help, on situations where they know that a lot of things. They have exonerated a lot of Black men that has been accused of rape and different things that they have not been, no. And one gentleman, they had exonerated him, but the state of Texas did not want to go back and take it off the record. I think it happened in Texas. I'm gonna have to go look, but they did not want to take it off the man's
Texas
record.
ain't about to take nothing off the record. They're gonna retry.
No, they didn't. Even though he was exonerated from the charge, he was exonerated.
They're gonna retry you.
Yeah, the woman lied about the abuse, and he was exonerated. He never killed his kids. Never killed his kids. She lied like he abused her and he set the house on fire. She the one did it. But they didn't never take it off of him. They didn't take it off of him. And it was a sad story that I saw on Netflix. It was based on a true story too. But I'm just saying, I pray that, he able to get a good attorney. I pray that maybe people come out from all over the world and contribute, try to help, because this is a case that you can't.
He's going to get a good attorney because Cardi B spoke on it.
Oh, I'm glad she did, because she
Cardi
will
B
help.
spoke on it. Dr.
Oh,
Umar
yes.
spoke on it.
Yes.
That other guy spoke
All
on
right.
it. A lot of celebrities have been speaking on it. So he's going to get a good
I
Yes.
want to get your thoughts about this, Peanut and Tamala. I'm going to bring a video up here, and I'm just going to play
Okay.
some videos to get some thoughts. All right.
Okay.
So, Karmelo Anthony's parents just left the courtroom in tears. Not good for the home team. This is what's interesting. Under Texas state law, in the civil case, He was 17 when he did it. The parents, out of neglect, are going to be liable. So the parents of Austin Metcalf can get all that money. All that money. Take out that house. They're going to get it all. Yes, thank you, Jesus. Justice. So, Karmelo Anthony's parents just left.
Not again. Not again.
Tamala, Peanut, who want to go first?
Gigi, I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
go
it's all
first.
about.
Yeah,
I
you
keep
go.
trying to
Yeah,
tell.
you go first. Cause I'm a cuss. Let me calm down for a
Okay,
little bit.
right. But you know, it goes to show you stuff like this that just came. It goes to show you a whole racist community. You see what I'm saying? What you just saw. Oh, they gonna get that money. Who thinking about money if you had a child that you say that was a victim? Okay, so when you thinking about money, you thinking about money over your child. See, that's why I said that's what it's all about. And now people got to start sticking up and saying something because that's what it's all about. They hate to see black folks with anything. They hate to see, just like T.I.'s wife went into the store, Tiny, using this example. They gonna act like she's not able to buy the bag, the Louis Vuitton bag. But guess what? T.I. went in there and let them know, okay, and purchased the bag and then let them know who he was and stated what he stated, okay? And I think probably Tiny took that bag back too to show them, yeah, we had the money, but we don't want your bag.
Okay.
You know, but at the end of the day, Gigi, we're going to have to stand up because our people going to have to stand up because they don't want you to have property. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't. Well, that's what it's all about. If you notice it, even with our stars and stuff, they go back. They say they did this. They say they did that. They want their masters for their music because they own it. You know,
okay.
that's what.
Yeah. Let's just stick to the point. I mean, the story as well. Let's just keep it niche. So, Peanut, what were your thoughts about that guy's words?
My thoughts about that is, I'm being honest with you. I thought the same thing. Because he was under the age of 18, his parents will be legally responsible for his actions.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my children that every day they leave this house. And I have to put it in the perspective that they understand. Y'all like getting your hair done, because I have all girls. Y'all like getting your hair done. Y'all like the shoes, the nails, all of that stuff. Do something stupid, you ain't gonna get that no more. Do something stupid, mommy going to jail, and you really ain't gonna do that. You really ain't gonna get that no more. So, and I'm country, so sorry, y'all. But I have to put things like that into my children's perspective. And I've also told my children, if somebody put their hands on you, make sure you defend yourself. Don't go out here being like and just let somebody hit on you. But now I have to change that topic of discussion. I have to reiterate, defend yourself, but don't do yada yada yada. I have to now add that to it because I don't want a Carmelo Anthony situation. And it's sad that we have to do that due to bullies, but it is what it is. But no, back to the topic, he is correct. His parents will pay that. His parents will be responsible in a civil lawsuit. However, catch 2022, Carmelo gonna come out making money and he gonna put his family in another house. How about that?
All right, Tim, you said no evidence of Austin was a bully. Lots of lies and information. Well, Tim, can you
There's
hit the
plenty
link?
of there's plenty of evidence.
Hold on,
I'm sorry.
Peanut.
Ooh,
Wait.
I'm about to cuss his
Tim, if you can come up here, hit and be a voice, and speak. You know, don't be scared. Hit that link and speak. So I have another video here. I want to get everybody's opinion on. I'm going to play it.
Karmelo parents and the sorry ass defense team is why he lost in court today. If you don't already know, Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty, and it's his parents and the defense team's fault. Now, he had enough money raised to hire one of the best lawyers in the country, but his parents mishandled the funds. They wanted to vlog and floss and, spend the money on other things. And they told you that they spent all of his money and y'all donated even more. What gets me about stuff like this is now you pass over smaller families in the Black community that ask for GoFundMe, donations to they're facing homelessness, they need a car, something like that. Y'all pass those up and tell them to pray about it. But Karmelo's parents spent his money. You donated more. I don't understand how y'all think, but it's not for me to understand whether you like it or not. He was found guilty, and that's the end of it. Austin's father, I think what really pushed it over is Austin's father not taking a completely right-wing agenda. He wasn't, pushing all the racist pro-white things. He just said he's not racist. He doesn't want any of the pro-white people, trying to make it into a race issue. And he forgave him. So this white man who had a Black man take his child away from him still held no malice in his heart. And I think that's what helped their case the most, my personal opinion. But his parents, like I said, had the ability to hire a lawyer and get a desirable verdict. But you make the mistake that most people make when they get money in their hand and they're not used to having none. On y'all again. Carmen.
All right, Peanut, I go with
Girl,
you
bye.
first.
Girl, bye. Girl, bye and shut up. Because just because he said it does not mean that's what he meant. And he probably do feel bad because his own son used to beat him up and broke some bones of his. Girl, shut up talking to me. That's all I got.
Y'all
I'm
gonna have to
about
have
to.
a better counter action, y'all. Come on, it can't
I
just
mean,
be shut up.
I
There
mean,
has to be a better,
I'm trying, Miss
answer for that.
Auntie Gigi. I'm trying. I'm trying, but at the same time, she's not making sense to me. Like just because you say it does not mean that you're right. And sometimes you need to be told to just shut up and save your little opinion so that way you're not getting a clicking of you for attention. Some people need
Right.
to just shut up
Right.
because she offered nothing to the discussion to discuss at all. Okay, yes, Carmelo Anthony mama then put some she done did the go send go thing. And we as a community and as supporters donated to it. They was receiving death threats. They moved to a different doggone location and bailed him out of jail. That doggone joker that unalived two protesters up north got more money. Where was the outcry from that? And he was found not guilty with his fake tears.
Amen. You better say it, girl.
I
Amen.
cannot do it with the pick and choosing. If you're gonna be mad about everything that's unfair. Don't pick and
Absolutely.
choose. So that's why I said, girl, bye with your click and your view. And you and your doggone freaking doggone that what you want to call that thing? Her little what is it called? Valentine's Day Valentine's Day pajamas can go on somewhere. You and your hearts, just go.
Tamala,
You tell.
your thoughts
I
on that?
agree with I agree with Peanut. A lot of times these people come up here and they won't click in views and they sitting up here saying this about the family and that about the family. My thing is I'm gonna say this: Carmelo Anthony. What happened with him is a major tragedy. Because at the end of the day, it shouldn't have never happened. That the parent, which is the Austin's parent or parents, should have already corrected him when they realized he was a big bully. They should have spoke out about this. That's why they say I feel bad, because they know it was coming. Your child is a bully. See, sometimes we have to tell the truth and quit lying and covering up for our kids.
Amen.
Because if our child is wrong, they wrong. And you can't just sit there and want somebody else's stuff. See, my thing is, Gigi, you said stay on the point, but they've been robbing and stealing for years, taking what don't belong to them. Doing everything to the other races. It's time to stop all that. And if they can't stop, this is what y'all know. You want to lock our kids up? then we'll take them, fly them to
No,
states
no, no,
that
no,
where
no,
you
no, no, no,
cannot
no, no, no.
extradite.
No, 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 no.
Where you can't.
All right. Well, let's play this clip. Hold on.
35 years. If he was white, we wouldn't even be here today. It would have never
I
been.
seen that.
It would have never been no handcuffs. We wouldn't be here today. But because somebody didn't know how to go get him a drug like we all in talk, somebody's wife was on the ground and somebody's in jail for something that should have been self-defense. Self-defense. They said we supposed to know how to act around white people. What the fuck is that? What for? What is that? What is self-defense? Is self-defense not somebody punching you that you don't want touching you and you defending yourself? What is self-defense? Murder? Murder? Hold on. The same guy that saved the life? The same guy that saved the life? You should have taught your son to go get a motherfucking adult like we know how to do. But that was in his motherfucking face. You don't get the put murder on somebody's child because that could have been your motherfucking son. No, that could have been anybody motherfucking son. 35 motherfucking years. Mother's a motherfucking mother. You should have said don't get that man no motherfucking man. They said 5 to 99 to life. You should have said 5. Because you know that shit wasn't trying to go down like this. 35 years.
Hey, I went to school over here, the same fucking school. I had the same problem. I had to fight every fucking day. Every day. And my friend, I couldn't deal with none of my problems at school. Outside of school. Yeah, that. So I know how he feels. That shit is that's some fuck shit. That's some fuck shit.
So one of my friends came out and said that Karmelo is not taking nothing good. He steady crying. He said they won't even let the parents console him. They won't even let the parents console him. They won't let him take him to the conference room. They will not let him console him. He keep crying and trying to calm down. If that boy end up doing something to himself, that's y'all blood. That's his blood on y'all hands.
He got his binoculars down. They think this shit a game. They said that the judge, this is his last case. He wanted this case personally.
But the judge wasn't supposed to be on the case.
It was a black girl.
Why? Because you in a fucking picture with the fucking people dancing.
Who that is?
That's what they was in there.
There you go, Gigi. There you go, right there.
That's
right
not
there.
true.
You in the picture with the
No,
family.
that's
See,
not true. That's not true.
that,
That's not true. Even the family representative said that that's not them in that picture. That is
girl,
not
they gonna
true.
say that, but that is everybody ain't gonna sit up
No,
there
the
and say that.
family representative, the black guy, Dominique, he said that was not them in that picture.
I believe it was. I believe
But
it
the
was.
family representative said it wasn't him, it was not them in that picture.
You know, sometimes people get paid. Black people get paid out
No, he
to
ain't
tell
getting paid
lies
for
on other
nothing.
people.
He ain't getting paid for nothing because he be the main one out there telling everybody to calm down, and he's zero nonsense. The same one that y'all be listening to that comes out there speaking to the crowd, the black guy, that's the one that issued a doggone freaking statement that said that it's misinformation. He just didn't tell it to the media. He posted it
Right,
on his
but
personal page.
they still friends. It don't matter. They
They
still
may be
friends. And,
friends, but that's not
right,
them
but he
in
should
that
have never
picture.
been on the case. If I'm friends with you, I should never be on the case because
Everybody in
I'm
the legal
biased.
system is friends, though, mama.
Right, but I'm just saying that's bias though.
See,
He
hold
shouldn't have
on,
never.
hold on now.
That's why I said they should have had a change of venue.
It should have been a change of venue.
That's
And
why I
I'm
said it
pretty
should have been a change of venue.
and I'm pretty sure it was requested. And being
And
that
they
it was
denied it.
denied, it's going to
Right,
be a good chance of an appeal.
right. That's why I said he got a good chance of appeal on a lot of things that they didn't do. Because they didn't do, they didn't get them text messages from them kids' phone. Then the one boy that was there as a witness, y'all got him sitting at home, probably on the PlayStation or whatever. So at
Not the
the end of that, come
PlayStation.
on.
The
No.
PlayStation catches strays.
Yeah, right. So he didn't come and tell his, but he was so adamant about telling it at first. Come on now, if you're gonna tell it, let's be like Paul and tell it all.
Oh, okay.
You know,
You country like me. Okay,
yes,
we
girl.
can go through there.
Yes, baby, you're right.
But
Take me
with that,
through there. Take me through there. Cause
with
baby,
that,
Nah.
With
But
that being said,
I'm just saying, girl.
but
No, because they dead wrong. They dead wrong.
they are wrong. But the
Yeah, they
young lady
dead
that was
wrong.
All
speaking, we're
right,
gonna go back. We're gonna go
we
back
have
to the original topic. I'm so
we
sorry, Miss
we
Gigi.
have someone else. Hey, OG, how you doing?
Oh
Uh,
Lord.
Dark Blade, are you there, Dark Blade?
Yes,
Um.
I am. I
Oh,
have
I'm
to
about to drop
say,
down. I'm about to drop down because I'm a,
Why? Can you please not stop?
okay.
Go
I was
ahead.
going to say that regardless of whether or not it was murder or not, a life was lost, and con- consequences has to happen. He was reckless with the knife. He
You
could have.
can't be reckless with a knife if somebody's abusing you. That's not reckless with no knife, baby.
You
I'm not
can't
gonna sit up
push.
there and let 4 or 5 white boys beat me or beat my kids if I'm looking at and just say, oh, it's okay that they beat them. And then what am I supposed to do? No, call 911 and I might not make it out alive. No, no, sir. He was not reckless with no knife. No, sir, he was not. He was defending himself, what people should do when you come up against this. So many black children is unalive and behind prison, and you got them sitting going to prison. But when your children do they go to prison? They know they get a slap on the wrist. When they killing infants, and I left them in the car because I forgot they were in the back seat. How you forget your children is in the back seat? Is that a life taking? Yes, it is. You don't think they should go to prison and do no time for that either? Slap on the wrist? Come on now, don't come up here with that. Don't ever. I
But
know it's a welcome page, but don't say a life was taken, because yes, a lot of lives is taken. Let's not speak for just one life just because he's a Caucasian. Let's speak for all lives. All lives matter in my book.
Now,
And
to
this was a
respond,
bully kid. And this was a bully. His father and mother, they should have did something way before now. Then this action wouldn't have never happened. See, that's what we got. That's the problem. You want to lay the blame on other people's children, but when you should have been laying the blame on your child. Accountability is everything.
clock
It's
it.
everything.
Clock it.
now, based on the facts of the case, from what I've seen from the court documents, stuff like that,
You ain't seen no
and the
court
witness
documents on
testimony.
But
this.
but
Well,
but
hold
from
on.
the
Well, not
court
court
docket,
documents, but the transcript. The
Wait a
court. My
minute.
bad. Let me paraphrase the court transcripts. Right, the court transcripts of what was said in court from the witnesses and all that.
Post them.
There was no 5 people jumping him. It was mainly one person put their hands on him. That's it. And he resorted into stabbing a singular person that put their hands on him.
let me
That
tell
is a
you something, sir.
disproportionate level of force or
But
response.
according to the court's docket, those other kids stated otherwise. According to the court dockets, but then they get in court and say something different. Don't you think that's awful strange? Because those are teenagers. It's not like that there are babies, babies that don't know the difference between this was happening, that's what happened. These are teenagers, real going into adulthood. Okay?
Oh, Miss Santiago, can I have a moment?
Go ahead, honey. Go ahead, honey.
You know doggone well you ain't seen no court transcripts right now. You know doggone well. So quit saying according to the court transcripts. You ain't got them that fast. It's a high profile case. You are not that important. If you do have them, no, don't you cut me off, young man. So you can
I
lean
was
back
going
in
to
your
cut you
chair.
off.
No, lean back in your chair. Lean back and rock with me. You know doggone well you ain't seen no court transcripts. And if you have, that tells me right then and there that you're more connected to this case than you should have been. And you just like that
Right.
Sarah Joseph. But go
Come
off
on.
if you want to.
The court transcripts I'm referring to is the one that were shown on by Court TV, their YouTube channel, that went over the stuff that was said from the reporters inside the courtroom. I'm going off of
Yes,
that.
but if you say if
No, 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 no,
that's
no,
the
no, no,
case,
no. Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him
go ahead,
finish.
sister. Go ahead.
So, based on what they have said, right, and if what you're saying is true, why didn't the defense bring that up and try to play audios of the
We're not
fucking
answering no
kid saying something
questions right
different.
now because we don't want you to get cut off. So just go ahead and give your perspective of things and why you feel things played out. That's how we operate, and then we move forward to
I
the
feel
debate
like it
section.
played out because obviously I feel like because he didn't want to take an L. Like if he were to get beat up by a singular guy, he should have responded with fist fighting. Okay, even though no one should put their hands on each other. But if it happens, it happens. But don't be like a bitch and just fucking take the coward's way out and trying to resort to using like a knife in a fist fight. You know, because then not only do you take the risk of taking their life, you then put yourself in a fucking position to where you could fucking throw your whole life away over something stupid.
You know, I'm gonna say this. It was stupid for the young man to try to bully somebody. That was stupid. And if the young man didn't want violence and he wasn't trying to promote violence, he wouldn't have never came to a person about that. And then he has his other little crew members with him, regardless if it was one or two fighting on him. He still had his crew with him. So at the end of the day, this young man didn't know what he was up against. Now let's go by facts. You want to holler facts? That's facts right there. If I'm with you, and 4 or 5, and let me just say, if 4 or 5 Mexicans come up and me and you together, and what I'm picking with you. So do you think that and you got, let's say you got a knife? Do you think that you are not in danger if they keep picking with you, keep messing with you?
I would say
you will
no.
want me to help you. You will want me to help you. Oh, yes, sir. I know you was going to say the answer is no. Yes, you would have. Yes, you would have. You would have want me to help you. Yes, you would have.
Okay, so
see, that's why people like you can't come up here, because you biased. You got to tell the truth. You can't be biased and have a job as a spokesperson and trying to give out news and different things and being biased. You have to be neutral in some situations, because it's not a black and white. It's in living color, whether you want to believe it or not. You cannot stop us. We are chosen.
Tag me in. Can I
tag you in? Go ahead. You tag.
Young man, you got some pretty hair. You twirling it and everything out there, moving it out your eyes and everything. With that being said, pretty hair man, you got to learn how to calm down sometimes. And you have to look at things in a different perspective of how you were raised and the environment that you're in. Not everybody's raised like you. Not everyone is taught like you. I come from a generational cloth. You put your hands on me, do not determine how I respond, because you should have minded your business. And when I said respect my space, I meant respect my space. See, your generation was taught that during COVID, and you still did not respect it. Y'all still was going out here not wearing masks and everything else, thinking you're above the freaking law and the order that was put out. Start respecting people more, and we wouldn't have this issue. Respect people's personal space. You can't tell somebody how to respond to disrespect and then want to cry later when they respond. Am I saying that he was right with what he did? No, I'm not. But fuck around and find out. Now you can go ahead and twirl your hair again for me one time, making it to a curl.
Oh my God.
I'm just being honest, sir. You know, you got to, like I said, you got to call it what it is. You got to be honest about everything, because you got young black men that's walking home from work or school with backpacks on, but police want to pull them over and then they being honest, telling them where they're coming from. Then you want to slam them to the ground. You want to treat them like animals, just like the woman that was telling the officer not too long ago, I'm mentally ill, sir. I'm not on my medicine, but you want to keep punching her in the face? Yeah, thank God that judge that sheriff department and that police department found that very disturbing and fired his butt. Because you can't keep going around here doing that. Accountability is everything. And that young man needed to be held accountable, and his family, it was lacking in that area. Because at the end of the day, they would have told him. Quit saying those things. Quit calling people monkeys. Quit calling people whatever you call them. Names. Call them by their names. You don't say that. Oh, if one of them come up this the way, I'm going to, yeah, I wish they would. You already stated what you was trying to do.
So,
You already stated.
Mr. Dark Blade, is that your name? Dark Blade. How you feel about children assaulting parents?
Children assaulting parents?
Yes. How you feel about that?
I feel like if it even gets to that point, it's a failed parenting because you're supposed to lay down the law to where the children would fucking fear you out of respect.
When have you known Caucasian
No.
children ever fear their parents?
Calm down.
I feared my parents growing up.
Calm down,
Hell,
mama.
my parents would whoop my ass if just guy pulled a fire alarm in church. I got the belt in the backseat of a car. Okay, like
No, but no. How do you feel about children, regardless of race, that assault their parents?
regardless of race, children who do that are probably going to be finding themselves up in jail due to the parenting being too soft on the kids.
Do you feel that eventually they may end up being in a situation to where they place no fear, they have no fear against someone else because they don't fear their parents?
They don't fear authority, and that's what gets them to that point.
Okay. So they may end up in the grave, right?
If it comes to, well, I mean, they don't fear authority, meaning they have no problem probably breaking the law or taking someone's life because if they, whatever reason they deem justified, because the consequences would be damned to those kind of kids.
So
Well, you talking about Austin then?
Absolutely. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you.
Tina was taking
You get. Thank you.
I'm like, Tina, why
Boom.
Tell?
Boom. You shot the gun.
Why y'all tell? I wasn't done.
Because you was taking too damn long.
She likes him. She likes him, and she likes him to keep talking, girl. She likes him, Gigi.
Go on, Mr. Curls. Keep talking, Mr. Curls. Go ahead, Miss Simpson.
But I will say though that regardless, right, the person who would take the life is still need to be held accountable, regardless of who's in the right or wrong. Like the reason why I judge this case because I follow closely the Kyle Rittenhouse case, and the reason why he got off on self-defense is because he was attacked with weapons that could have led to death, where he was being hit in the head with a skateboard, getting rocks thrown at him and thrown at his head.
With the lies.
Curls, you lying. Kyle was the only one that came with a weapon. Them other jokers had a skateboard against his weapon.
A skateboard, when you hit someone with the right angle, with the right enough force, with a skateboard to the head, you could do some serious damage and kill someone.
Was double his freaking size. Double. Both of them were triple his freaking size. We are not going to compare this case to a Kyle Rittenhouse case. That's what we're not going to do.
The reason why I'm comparing them is because that's why he got off and why Karmelo didn't.
I'm about to cuss Curls out.
But you know what? I'm going to say this. You saying that, but didn't Cal hit first? Didn't Cal swing first?
No.
That's a lie. That's a lie. Even his brother said he hit first.
Well,
why didn't the brother come? Excuse me, sir. Why didn't the brother come? If we're gonna get real and honest, why didn't the brother come? He was a known witness. Why he didn't come? Ask yourself that. Because you was able to tell the police, okay, he hit, and then this is what happened. But then when it's time for you to show up on the stand, they have you not there. Okay, that shows to me there's something fishy going on. Because they know what happened, what really happened. The son bullied the wrong person this time.
Okay.
He's been a bully in the classroom. He's been a bully for a long time, whether y'all want to believe it or not. And the daddy keeps getting him off on things like this. Okay? Yes. Remind me of something else. The Mendez brothers.
Wait a minute.
Mm.
If it was like you said, and they were bullying him, they're trying to jump him. In the age of social media and phones, every kid and their mama having a smartphone. Tell me, not a single one of them recorded it.
They did.
And let me
They
tell you
did
something.
record.
Every kid,
Hold on, mama.
hold
Hold
on,
on, mama.
sister. Let me just say
Okay.
this. Let me just
Okay,
say
my
this.
apologies.
Every kid do have a smartphone. But guess what? Guess what? When people show up on the scene, that's power got power and want to put these kids off the teams and different things for telling the truth and then telling them get rid of what you got on your phones or whatever. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Hunter got some things on his phone. I'm pretty sure Kyle got some things on his phone. I'm pretty sure a whole lot of kids that
Okay.
was participating got some things on their phone.
And none of them phones have been seized.
Right. Or subpoenaed.
All of them phones should have been seized and a
Right.
part of evidence. None of them
Right.
were. So we
If none
can't
of them were
say any of
subpoenaed
that
or
happened
seized,
because I didn't cut you off, young man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so sit back and twirl your head because I ain't cut you off.
Right.
So with that being said, no, none of them phones were ever seized. You had a statement from a freaking deputy that said, "Oh, well, I looked at the phone, I ain't see nothing," but he didn't seize the phone. Everything that happened and everybody was there, everything at that point should have been a part of evidence, and it was not. So you would never know what happened because you know why? They protected that freaking family because that family was connected. Don't play with me. I know how it works. I grew up in the suburbs. I'm raising my kids in the suburbs. So I'm
You ain't
telling
the
them
only
how to
one.
doggone freaking do things and how to operate. Don't play with me. I know how it works because I'm in a clan town. Don't play with me. And I already
Right.
know my name, my legal name. How about that?
And why did the children retract their statement? Okay, because they so said Cal was Austin was the one. He was the one, not the two, but he was the one. And then they recounted their statement. Oh, that's not what I was saying. Yeah, you recounted your statement, and all that was a lie. They wasn't babies, so they knew what they were saying. They're not children, little babies, 5 and 6 that don't understand completely. No, these are going into adulthood. Okay, so you can't give me that. Go back, look at the facts, and then come back.
I would say
Okay,
that
hold on. OG, please come up here. OG, if you come up, I just put you on the panel and everybody will be on pause. I would love the OG to speak if you get a chance, OG. Okay. Uh, sorry about that, Dark Blade.
what I was gonna
Um,
say is that I think the most damning evidence was his best friend that he said was his best friend saying that he started it in court. I think that's what got him that guilty verdict of murder and lost that self-defense case the moment he said that.
Right, but
I
his
have to
best friend
hold
wasn't
on, hold
saying that
on,
at first.
hold on, Mrs. Santiago. Hold on 1 second. When you say things like that, you have to say who you want to answer first. You can't just make statements like that because then we just gonna go and it's gonna feel like you being attacked. So when you start making comments and you want somebody to respond, at least choose who you want to respond to.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. I'll see you soon, Mr. Twirl.
All right. Thank you, Dark Blade. I'm gonna let you go for right now. All right.
I wasn't done with him. I wanted to roast him. Oh, I wanted to roast him some more.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Peanut, he was lying. He was lying.
He
He
was
got up
lying,
there
but
and wanted to say
but
all that, but lying.
yeah, but I was having fun with him lying. I
Just like
was
when I asked
y'all
him
was
if
getting
me and
annoyed.
him together and the Mexican people are fooling with him. Oh no. Yes, you was a lie. You was a lie. You would have wanted me to help.
Yeah, but you was getting annoyed with him. I was looking at this
Yes, I
comedy.
was.
I was looking at this comedy. I was laughing at him because at the end of the day, we have to look at different perspectives so that way we're
Yes.
not here again. We have to know how other individuals think. Like you have folks in
We
the chat
already know
now.
that thing.
You, you never know because
Yeah.
we're in a different age of society. They start redeveloping, and just the way you think now may not be how they raising their kids to think. So we have to
Right.
know, because there was a comment and I left it. Oh my God, I wanted to address it. When they said why wasn't the black coach that seen everything, why wasn't he summoned to testify? His coach did testify. Carmelo Anthony coach did testify. So that's why the media should have been in that courtroom, because you cannot leave it to the media and independent journalists to come out here and give you a perspective, because everybody's perspective is going to be different. If you're watching it
Absolutely.
on your freaking TV, your phone, your computer, whatever the case may be, you're going to see things for yourself and you're able to make that judgment. You're not relying on somebody else that may come out here and be biased.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It should have been doggone on TV.
That's it. Should have. It
But
should have.
my
As
apologies,
big
Miss
as it
DJ.
was. As big as it was, but they kept it off TV because they know if too many people really would have saw it, oh baby, he would have got a not guilty verdict. See, they know what they were doing. It's always a setup. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a setup.
It
It was
was.
a setup.
It definitely was, and I'm in timeout right now. So
Yeah,
Miss
it
Gigi,
was.
go ahead. I'm in timeout.
But justice for Anthony. Because I'm telling you, it's sad that this world we live in now. They don't want us here. They don't want us here. They so mad about us being here. They so mad about we accumulating wealth. They so mad about all that. That's what they mad about. That's why they try to strip out men and women daily. Man, come on now. I know what it's about. And we think it's gonna be no. You got to teach your kids. Teach your kids.
Project 2025 is only gonna get worse.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it.
Go ahead, Miss Gigi, Auntie Gigi. Go
And
ahead with your commentary.
yes, and
You
orange
gotta
face is
pause.
making it
You
work
gotta pause. You gotta
worse.
pause. Calm down. Calm down.
Okay, okay. I'm
Time
gonna
out.
pause you. Yeah, time out. Hey, OG, how's it going?
Hey, Gigi, how you doing?
Good. Break this down for us. We want to hear from you.
Okay, I'm gonna say some things that we like, and I'm gonna say some things that we don't like. So, black folk, I need y'all to not get so into your emotions on this, right? I'm gonna walk you down as best as I can regarding what I know the case to be. So we know, of course, in the Confederate racist state of Texas, that Black children, men, boys, girls, get a far longer conviction and sentence than their white counterparts. That's been known pretty much all in history, right? So when you take into consideration the rush that this judge put on this case, and I looked at his background, I know he's going to be retiring this year after 30 years. I know that he's a right wing MAGA guy. So I already knew from jump Carmelo's fate was shot, right? So take that into consideration. He rushed the trial. Now take the jury selection from there into consideration. The fact that there were no jury of his peers there. There were a bunch of older Hispanic, Asian, whatever, white, mixed race of people, but there was no blacks. The blacks were actually, what do you call it? They were not, they were dismissed, basically. And they used the excuse of because they were teachers in the school system, which I don't believe that. I believe, of course, they called the race card. They pulled the race because they were black, but they never going to tell you that. So they're going to tell you something else. Those teachers was not teachers in that district. They weren't teachers of Austin or Carmelo. So I felt that they absolutely should have been able to serve as a juror. That's why I've always expressed how important it is for Black people to stop dodging jury duty, because when it's cases like these that come up, we need to have a seat at the table. So that's another strike. So now they start the speedy trial and the prosecution come out like a bulldog from the jump, and the defense does not. That's number what, 3? So the defense comes out and he puts all his witnesses who are coached on the stand to tear on the heartstrings of the jurors, because he asked them, do you think it was self-defense? Do you think that Austin deserved it? And when they were up there and saying no, the jurors were crying. They had the jurors right in the palm of their hands, right then and there. You have to take. I'm walking you through. Now it's the defense turn to cross-examine. He never objected to anything that the prosecutor said. The cross-examine was weak because he didn't use them to tear at the heartstrings or use his own witnesses when he called them up to tear at the heartstrings of the jurors. There was no equilibrium there, right? So when the defense and the prosecution side coached their witnesses, that was another strike against the defense and Karmelo, because Eddie got up there and turned into a turncoat. So you had so many things that the defense dropped the ball on. There was no objections to anything. He did not fight like the bulldozer, like his client life depended on it. It was so many failures when it comes to the defense. So we got to put that onus on them as well, right? On the defense as well. I never saw Karmelo passing notes back to his attorney to say, ask the witness this, ask them that, ask them this. So I don't even think he coached Karmelo. So these are all things that are being missed. Now we get through the trial and it's already looking horrible for Karmelo. I, as a Black person in America, knows that he's not going to get a fair trial. I already know they're going to convict him of something just on the basis of where it was going. So now the verdict comes in. My expectations based off of what I've learned of this case, I don't know, but the defense should have asked for a plea for a lesser charge. Because at the end of the day, as much as Black people don't like to hear this, and I know we are treated unfairly, but a life was lost. And there has to be some accountability for that. So I would have preferred if the defense would have went for a manslaughter, which is a lesser time, or y'all got to keep in mind, we are in the state of Texas, and that is a Black young man who's on trial. Or if not manslaughter, then criminally negligence homicide, which also is a lesser charge. And see, what I do know is that the jurors obviously didn't know the difference between these charges. Because if they went straight for first degree murder, and in my humble opinion, it was not, because that means to me the difference in first degree and manslaughter and a homicide, negligence homicide is intent. So Karmelo didn't wake up that morning and made up his mind and decided he wanted to unalive somebody. So that's out the window with the first degree. There was no premeditation. He did not plot, plan, lie, and wait to unalive somebody. So when the defense saw and knew that it was not going in Karmelo's favor, they should have asked for a plea for a lesser charge. That's another big major thing where the defense failed Karmelo. Now, here comes the sentencing after the verdict. We already know he's a young Black boy in the Confederate state of Texas. We already know he getting ready to get more time than the average 17-year-old white boy. We know this because there's a similar case to Karmelo's white 18-year-old by the name of Kason Allison. Kason Allison and Karmelo's case are similar. He gets to, Kaysen is a white boy. He gets to fighting with a Hispanic boy in the school. He takes out his jabber and he jabs and unalives this boy more than one time, more than Karmelo did Austin. Multiple times he jabbed and unalived this Hispanic young man. And the juror convicted him of murder, but the judge overturned it and reduced it to criminally negligence homicide. And guess how many years he got? He got 10 years. 10, as opposed to triple the time that Karmelo got. This is the difference in between how we're treated and how they're treated. So his attorney failed him on so many levels. They wanted to hurry up, rush through that trial because their minds was pretty much all made up already. And then to turn around and do the verdict and the sentencing all in the same time, very fast, when we know sometimes it could take sentencing weeks or months. We already know the railroad was there. But we got to realize that a life was taken. And in the law, and I want y'all to hear me clearly, in the law, in the state of Texas, there's a thing called proportionality. That is what that's what also helped convict Karmelo, is because in this law, in the state of Texas, you cannot use deadly force with non-deadly force, y'all. That's just what it is. I don't like it either. I feel it was more unfair when it comes to Karmelo, when I do. But he took a life. So in that case, the defense should have went for a lesser charge. Now, what they also can do, since his attorney gave him such a disservice, I know they done filed the appeal. Hopefully, and we have to hope and pray on this one too, because again, we are in the state of Texas. We got to hope they look at it and deny the appeal. And then they'll have to go higher from the appellate all the way up if they need to go to the Supreme, however that looks like. But we know that the chances are slimmer when you are a young Black man in the criminal justice system. We know it's unfair. That's why when that defense attorney knew he was losing. Did you coach Eddie? Because Eddie was for the defense and he got up there and he literally agreed with what the prosecutor's witnesses said. So I'm confused. I don't think that he did a good job. And honestly, I have to hold some accountability on on Karmelo's parents. What were they thinking? Do you think that you could ever, in the state of Texas, hire a white attorney that is associated in that county and community with the judge and the prosecutors and all of that? Because they stick together on code. Why didn't they get the best Black criminal defense attorney in the state of Texas? Why? Because those things about the jurors being dismissed over that, what they trying to say as, or because they worked in the school system, all of that could have been brought up at that time. Because we know what it is as Black people in America. We know what it is. We know from day one, it ain't going to be unfair. We know from day one, they going all the way for the gusto. And the prosecution did their job. They did their job, what they came out to do, and that was railroad Karmelo. So the defense did not come back like the bulldog he should have. It was so many unanswered questions. And this is the thing. When our white counterparts on the stand, you hear from all type of character witnesses that come up and testify on their behalf. Why weren't character witnesses up there for Carmelo? Why wasn't his raising brought up? His school, him having a 3.7 GP average, the fact that he has no priors, he's never been in trouble, he has epilepsy. See, we needed to come with all the guns out because we know that it's stacked against us. But that defense didn't do that. Where was the character witnesses for Carmelo? Where was his pastor? Why didn't he even get up there? Where was his neighbor or somebody get up there and talk about, I've been knowing him for a long time. He's been always was a good boy. See, that's what's done on the other side. So again, that's why I say the defense attorney failed that young man. But the fact of the matter is, no matter how much Black people do not want to hear this, look at the laws in Texas. You cannot disproportionately fight someone that is unarmed with a weapon. If I shove you, you shove me. If I punch you, you punch me. If I kick you, you kick me. And what happens in that happens. And then now we are equal. That is the reason why he got convicted for first-degree murder. But it could have been less. It could have been a lesser charge. And that's what I feel that was unfair, and where his defense attorney did a major disservice.
Keep talking, girl. You got our
No,
ears.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
really, I really want us to realize when things are stacked against us as Black people in America, we have to learn to play the game. See, because when that Black man that was a prospective juror got up there, and that brother said, I don't want to send another Black man to jail. I get you. I felt that. I get you. But guess what he should have done? He should have played the game, got up there as a juror, and then did the okey doke. But he didn't. See, we have to play Jedi mind games. See, he let his emotions get the best of him by going at a judge talking about how he don't want to send another Black man to jail. Well, if you'd have gotten there in the jury, it's a possibility you could have made it a hung jury. Then guess what? Retrial. But see, we don't think like that. We think with our emotions, and we don't critically and strategically think because we run with our emotions. There is no way, I don't care if it was 100 people in that tent and they all was in there talking crap, and Carmelo thought that they was going to put his hands on him. It don't work like that for a Black young man. It don't. So you have to go and beat the system the best way you can. So when we dodge jury duty and then we get mad when we see things like this, we got to look at ourselves as well. If you want to be judged by a jury of your peers, you have to know how to play the Jedi mind trick when you're called to jury, because you never know what you're going to get. Those people that got up there, they got the letter for the summons for jury duty in the mail, but they showed up, right? And they gave their opinion that leaned towards what the prosecution and the judge wanted. All you had to do was get up there and play the same. And once you in, you're in. Now you have a seat at the table to fight back, to disagree. But that Black man didn't do that, and he got himself dismissed. We have to stop going by our emotions, and we have to think strategically, because they playing chess and we playing checkers. And that's just facts. Are you there, Gigi?
Yes.
Do you have anything to say about what I said?
Um, you're telling people to do better as black people, to get in the jury, stop being lazy, and to be proactive so you can have different results.
Absolutely. I would have loved to seen that black man in that jury because I can tell from what he said to the judge, he would have had a difference of opinion. But had he got himself in there, he could have exercised that legally. And steadfast to his belief, and it would have been a hung jury because all it takes is one. But see, all of them had the same mindset. And it doesn't matter that they were Hispanic or Asian or Caucasian, because they all their ideology thinks alike, and that's being in close proximity to whiteness. See, that's another thing we got to remember. So yeah, it was just like an all-white jury, because you ain't gonna never see an all-black jury convict anybody white ever in this lifetime. But we know of all white juries convicting black people. So why aren't we showing up for jury duty and allowing ourselves to be in the room, have that seat at the table? Oh yeah, Judge, I believe in the law and the American dream and the laws of the land and the Confederate laws of Texas. Yes, I do. Yes, I do, Judge. But now I'm in there. And now my opinion can be my opinion, my thought, my say, my guilt or no guilt it means something then, because now I'm there. The Jedi mind trick. Stop leading with emotions and think critically and strategically. That's what I want us to do. Because it didn't matter if it was an army in that tent. They didn't see nothing but a young black boy wielding a knife at a precious white young man. What part of that don't y'all understand? I know y'all got parents, grandparents have told y'all stories. It doesn't matter what we say and how we feel in emotion. It's the action we put behind it. So don't dodge jury duty. Go up there, serve, do your civic duty, play the Jedi mind game, and get in the rooms, get on the seats, and then have your opinion. Have your say there, because that's where it matters. It's not mattering. Yeah, we having the conversation. It's a back and forth banner, and it's a race thing. And yes, let's be clear. It's always a race thing. Everything we do in this world is racially motivated. Politics, education, financial institutions, housing, healthcare, and we don't make none of those laws. They are all made by Caucasian men and women, not us. So learn the Jedi mind trick. Learn the strategy, because that's the difference in how Case and Allison got 10 years with a lesser charge and Karmelo got first degree with 35 years. That's the difference. And like I said, the white boy stabbed the Hispanic boy multiple times. Multiple. Now that's really intent. I'm trying to unalive you. That is the difference. It's sad that the system sucks for us. It's sad that we live in such a racial divide. Yes, it is. But the fact of the matter is, if black people don't get off their butt and stop talking about it and being about it, then we're going to keep getting the same results. Just like the case with Cyrus. We know that if the roles was reversed and Cyrus was chasing after that Asian man with a pow pow, we already know what it would have been for him. But it ain't, and it wasn't. And now Cyrus ain't here, and Mr. Child is free as a bird. And that case reminds me of the Latasha Harlins case back in 90-something in California, where that Asian woman shot her in the back of the head when she was walking away with the money in her hand that she wanted to pay for some orange juice that the Asian lady thought she was stealing. It's always similarities with us and our white counterparts, and but the end results is not the same for us. I just had a relative got a top-notch attorney for a case he was fighting. The family begged him, the attorneys begged him, take the plea deal. Take the deal. You're in a racist state. You're a black man. Take the plea deal. You know what the plea deal was? 3 years. I said, you in your 30s. You can do 3 years with your eyes closed. I said, take the plea deal. The attorneys, everybody in the family, we had a meeting about it. You know what? He was hard-headed. He didn't take the plea deal. Guess how much time they gave him? 15 years. So that defense attorney failed Karmelo because he should at least ask and pled for a lesser charge. It could have been anywhere from 5 to 20 instead of what is it in for the first degree? I think it's 3 to 99 or 5 to 99 or something like that. Karmelo charged as an adult. Case and Allison charged as an adult. Kaysen was actually already 18 when he committed the crime. But they're going to charge them both as adults in the state of Texas. Know your laws in your state. Have the conversations with your children because it looks different for us. It's not just about telling them about when they get stopped by the police. They need to know the laws in the state they live in. And once you move to another state, especially Southern Confederate states like Texas, you need to know the laws. When you black in America, you have to move differently because it's different for us. And yeah, they will gaslight us and they will have cognitive dissonance and they will argue us down that no, it ain't. It's equal for everybody. That's bullshit and we know it. So while we in this game, you got to learn how to play it strategically. Because if he'd have pleaded to a lesser charge and it'd been granted, he'd have got lesser time. And in the state of Texas, he got to do 50% of that time, which means is going to have to do 17 and a half, 18 years. Unless a miracle happens, he gets that appeal, get that retrial, and it'll be a different outcome, like a lesser charge. But I am telling y'all, the state of Texas is not going to turn that young man over. He's not going to be free. So the best thing to do is go for the appeal and try to plead for a lesser charge. Because when you black in America and they offer you a plea and you don't take it, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get more time than that plea. That's all I want to say, Gigi. Thank you. I'll get off my soapbox now.
Okay. Well, hold on just one second. Sanita, anything you want to say?
Oh, yes. I just want to say that I do agree
Oh,
with
oh,
OG
OG.
yeah, OG Pisces. Yes, I do agree with the jury duty thing, but I
Is
also want to say that I've been on jury duty before, and they go through a whole process. They do. They go through a whole process where they evaluate you, they give you certain questions, and then they take you off the jury duty. They pay you for the time you're there. Um, and this was back in 2012, back when I used to live in New York. I live in South Carolina now. And yeah. And you know,
oh, you want
so yeah,
Southern states too?
yes,
Because I've served. They do take you those questions. That's why I say you have to play the Jedi mind trick because you have to know how to
yeah.
answer those questions correctly.
Right, but not everybody
And
knows that information. So that's what I was asking you, what are tips that we can do when we are being asked these questions? Because the truth is, a lot of these jury duties, they don't want people of color there. They don't want smart people of color there either. They want people that are going to answer, that's going to help their client, most likely, whatever charge it is, they're there to pick people that's going to fit the case and give them the results that
that's
they want.
correct. And that was it's not just one
Mm-hmm.
side that chooses. It's a decision made mutual
Mm-hmm.
or to something that stand the judge so we got to let them go. But again, when you're in what state
Right.
it is you're in and you get called for jury duty, if you want to be on that, you need to do is the laws in the state you live in.
Right. Right. That is
Right?
true. You're absolutely right. Yep.
We with
I
America,
mean,
they
uh,
lean towards our favor. What do we need to do? We need to talk the opposite, right? We don't need
right.
to get up there and and say, "Well, I don't want to send another black woman to jail because I don't believe in the
Right.
justice system." Nope, you have to the game to get in. And
Right.
yes, it's a process. I served,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
actually made. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to do your homework. You have to research. And if you know that Confederate Southern states, racist states like Texas, South Carolina, Mississippi, Alabama, Memphis, Tennessee, and all of them, when you know that they lean towards that Confederate flag and the land, you have to play that game. That's the same
Right.
game you got to play when you're trying to sit on that jury until you get in there. Because, yes, it takes you through a process.
Right. I have another question. Well, for what I'm hearing so far, everybody seems to say that the fight between Austin and Carmelo, um it was just between those two, but I hear other reports about that Carmelo was actually jumped by a group of people, and I'm believing in that story because there have been other students from that school that have said that Austin, was basically a bully, and he's gotten into a number of fights. There's also reports of saying that there was videos of what the black guy that you were talking about that should have been on the jury. There's videos to account what he was saying, that Austin had instigated the fight and that there was a group of people that was involved. A lot of them was at the trial, and
Well, then,
and I'm thinking in my
again,
yeah,
well,
I'm
then
thinking in
again,
my head. Yes, ma'am.
go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Yes, I'm thinking in my mind that if this is true and that Carmelo was actually being jumped or being beaten by these group of people, you know, is it safe to say that that the self defense, that him using lethal force was legally in his favor because there's more than one person coming at him, or does the Texas law still stands that you cannot use lethal weapons against somebody who isn't armed? That's all I want to ask.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Now,
I'm not really good at public speaking. I apologize,
now
sir.
if it's multiple people and they stomping and beating him or whatever, and one of them end up getting it, then you have more of a grounds to set for self defense, right? But let me ask you a question, since that was brought up, because I heard that story as well. So you tell me,
Mm-hmm.
whose fault was it that if that is, whose fault is it if that isn't true? Why wasn't that brought up in the trial? So who fault would you think that be?
Well, I would have to say, it would have to be, well, one, the Austin's friends who, who also allegedly, um, jumped Carmelo, um, you know,
Well,
they basically committed perjury
I'm
because they lied
and
on
I'm
the
gonna
stand.
absolutely. I believe they did lie on stand. So do you actually think they were going to get up there and say that Austin them started it and they were bullies and all of this and that, and
No,
talk about the history of all? Okay, then.
no.
So whose job it? If that is true, whose job was that to question those children on those very things you're saying? Whose job is it?
Well, mostly I would say Carmelo lawyers. I would say it would have to be.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So again, it comes when they coming down to character, history of those Metcalf boys. Why was that not brought up? You see what I'm saying? If there
Mm-hmm.
truly is a bending and coming to and proving that it is self defense, why was that not presented to the court? Now make that make sense.
Right.
If I'm your
I mean,
defense
I'm
attorney,
not saying that. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
you know what
I'm
I'm
sorry.
saying? No,
Yes.
I'm agreeing with you, but I want you to think about the question you're asking, because everybody is saying, oh, it was multiple people. Oh, it was video. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. But we have to look at it for what it is. None of that stuff was brought up. Carmelo's defense. He didn't even do it in cross examination, nor did he do it with his own witnesses. So you see what I'm saying about the
Mm-hmm.
disservice that his attorney did him?
Yeah. No, they did him dirty. They did him absolutely dirty. I honestly think the parents needs to get those lawyers investigated or debarred because they absolutely fumbled this whole case. I
Well, that can be up to that if they want to add the attorney in there, if they want to add the judge even in there for for the choices that were made with getting the black with not allowing the black people to sit as jurors on there. I agree with all those things can be addressed as a part of the representation for the appeal,
yeah,
right? The first thing
yeah,
Carmelo and his parents need to do is file a team. That's what they need to do. They need to
yes,
fight and get the best black criminal justice attorney in the state of Texas.
yep.
And
And they need to get the
so
judge. I'm sorry to cut across you, but they need to also investigate the relationship between the McCaff family and the judge because
that's a part of
allegedly,
investigating.
yes.
That's all a part of investigating the judge. I heard all the same things that you're saying. But
Mm-hmm.
whose job to present that to the courts. That was Carmelo's attorney, the defense attorney, to bring up anything that will make the Cliff boys look bad in the eye of the jury. Just like they did, the prosecutors did Carmelo. They made him look like he worse things than sliced bread. And the young man with no tires, grew nice neighborhood, nice upbringing, a high grade point average, getting ready to graduate out of college. Again, where was all these character witnesses to speak up for on Carmelo's behalf? You see what I'm saying? What did the
Yeah.
prosecutor up there? They got witnesses up there that said, "Oh yeah, I agree. Yes, Austin didn't deserve. Oh, I disagree. I don't think it was self defense. While the juror is crying, they already had the jury when the prosecutor did that. So the defense failed him. He didn't object to anything. He didn't cross examine long enough. He didn't ask a lot of the right questions. More witnesses, especially the witnesses. Like I said, pastor, neighbor, friend, anybody knowing Carmelo was a little. See, because they because they won't how good they person is, but none of that about Austin and his brother bullies, doing this to people and doing that to people, and how many people it was in the video. None of that was in court, and that can't help them.
I don't understand it. I can't understand what did the parents saw in that attorney of theirs, because I don't like, where did they find these attorneys at? What law firm did they come from? Because they did not do hardly anything for Carmelo Anthony's case. Like, they didn't. They might as well have sent him to the jail himself.
He was railroaded from day one. He's railroaded day one. But when you're talking about Collins County, which is a kind of upscale, smaller community, predominantly Asians, right? When you talk about what it is, and probably that little thing about each other and all this, that. But they're cold, and there's a unity that they have that we don't.
Oh yeah, I don't. I see it in Charleston, South Carolina, with the Jim Cho case, who was.
I was getting ready to say South Carolina.
Yeah, I'm down here. I've been down here for 9 years, and it's just like the whole the Charleston church shooting all over again that happened in 2015. I was still in New York, and I was shocked about that case. And that the guy who did it and unalived 10, like 9 freaking 10 people, including one extra one. Yes.
Why are Black people because of these outcomes? Why are we surprised?
Well, it's like you said before, we're not
proud. We as Black Americans in this country, we should not be surprised at all.
No, we shouldn't. At some point, we have to change it.
Okay.
We are immune.
It's going in and out real bad. OG. It's going out real bad. Okay, B. Sanita, thank you so much for calling in. Gonna let you go right now. Ash, are you there? Ash? All right, Ash. Going once, going twice. All right, I'm gonna drop Ash as well. All right. OG, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, it's a little bit better now.
Okay. Yeah. So I just want us to think more and, get more out of our feelings and emotion of things and think strategically and critically about things. Or else, outcomes like these are going to keep happening. We know that they are because we live in a world and a society where it was not created and founded upon anything that has to do with us, even though we built this damn country, at least our ancestors did.
Right.
But we
Well, listen to
already
this.
know that when
Sorry to cut you off. I want to know your opinion on this. I'm just going to go through some videos really quickly.
When society treats you like one. I'm so tired as a black man of being expected to defend black wrongs. As a black man, it's news to me that I'm obligated to defend a black man who decided to murder a child in cold blood. Someone's son, someone's loved one, someone's sibling. Like, the idea that being black comes with having to defend every single black indiscretion, every black evil doing is absolutely ridiculous, absurd, and I'm not going along with it. I believe in accountability. Whether or not you're white, yellow, blue, green, turquoise, or even with a hint of teal, I don't care. If you do the crime, you ought to do the time. And if you want to act like an animal, don't be mad when society treats you like one.
All right, your thoughts?
we'll see is people like him, right? They can get platforms and say that, but black people know and he knows in his heart of hearts that we are not treated fairly when it comes to the criminal justice system in America. He knows that. So you get people like him, right? that get up here and I'm not gonna do that just cause he's black. I'm not gonna blah blah blah. We get people like that. Those are the same kind of mindset of people.
And it was about where
that was
Sorry about that. Go
that
ahead.
was the same kind of mindset of people, right? That was in that underground railroad with Harriet Tubman and said, I want to go back because I'm scared. Them same kind of people. And then Harriet told them, no, you either coming with me or I'm going to unalive you, because if I let you go back to Massa, Massa going to beat it out you. And you going to tell what I'm doing and where I'm at. It's always going to be people like them. Like you going to have, a lot of black women that say, I ain't going to stop going to the beauty supply and getting my nails done from no Korean agents. I love my Chinese food. See, you going to get them. You're going to get them type of people. Because they think they're so indoctrinated and conditioned that they think that that's the only way that they can get wigs and weave and nails and all of that. Because they are so conditioned and indoctrinated to believe that. They don't look up black-owned businesses in their communities. They don't go online and order from said black owners. It's other means and ways you could do it. Find somebody black that does nails in your community, makeup, whatever it is. We got everything we need within our own. We just don't utilize it.
and so for all
Yeah, he's going to be about 50. Let's go to another
the
video.
people that are going to come in the comments with all your names, Anthony getting 35 years for taking Austin Metcalf's life was a slap on the wrist, and I'm offended. Because since when do you get to take someone's life and get 35 years? And then he'll be eligible for parole at like 17 and a half years. And so for all of the people that are going to come in the comments with all your nonsense, save it, because we watched it on TV yesterday where you guys were in front of the Collin County courthouse throwing yourselves on the ground, screaming that it was not justice. And Cardi B, the fact that you have anything to say, you should be quiet, because we're sick of hearing from celebrities. This kid needed to learn consequences, and that whole race card is not a thing. Why is it, and I'm gonna say it, why is it that black people always want to defend black criminals and then use the race card. It doesn't matter what color his skin is. He had a weapon he brought to that track meet. He was told many times prior not to bring it, and he brought it. And even if the two boys got into a scuffle, when was it appropriate that he had to take out a weapon and take this kid's life? It was never appropriate, and it's called a consequence. So before you guys get to protesting in the street and doing a George Floyd point two, keep it, because the majority of the people in this country feel like that 35-year sentence was a slap on the wrist. It doesn't matter what color his skin is. He could be purple. He took someone's life over a seat under a tent at a track meet he had no business being at. So save all the tears and all of the dramatics of you women throwing yourselves on the ground, screaming that he was found guilty. He's not even your kid. But of course, all the Black people will come together and defend this and say that his sentence was unfair and that the whole thing was based on race. The only race that was involved was the fact that a Black kid took a white kid's life.
Thoughts?
Oh, that's bullshit. That's bullshit right there. Cause she knows doggone again, it's people like her that get up here and it ain't about race. It's always about race. I really wish Black people would stop, like her and the other guy would stop saying that shit. In America, it's always about race. Every you use within the systems and it's always about race. Why you think we don't on
The
said
phone is going out
platform.
again. The phone is going out again, OG.
Okay, I'm sorry, or making any law. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's still going in and out.
I'm sorry. Try to go back in and come up, but no, it's people like her. No, now if she want to say what she want to say about the part, how she feels about what he done, that's her opinion to say that. I don't agree with that either. Like I said, I is no way. I thought it was Merck one. There's no way. Manslaughter or lesser charge, yes, because he took a life, but no way it was first degree. If you look up what the definition of first degree mean, it does not apply to Carmelo. And I'm gonna need her to stop because now she's lying through her teeth when she's saying stop. Why Black people stop making it about race? A lot of times we don't even make it about race. They make it about race. So I'm gonna need people like her to stop with the shenanigans because that's the first thing you see on somebody is their race when you're looking at them. And she knows the criminal justice system is unfair to people that look like us as opposed to our white counterparts. She needs to stop the bullshit. This is the part that make me mad right here with Black people when they say that because it's a damn lie.
Hmm. Ash, what do you have to say?
I
Okay.
absolutely agree with what she said. We do need to stop pandering. We need to stick together. This is why they can do what they do to us. This is why they can conquer and divide because we can't even stick together. Everyone knows this is a textbook case. Shut and close. Self-defense. Even though I Carmela should have walked away. I mean, granted, the guy shoved him, but Carmelo, I blame his parents. I can't blame a 17-year-old at the time because they're not really, they don't have it together. But his dad should have definitely taught him, conflict resolution, how to walk away. Every action has a consequence. Think before you do stuff. I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened, but the trial was just ridiculous. Um, all white jurors. Come on. There was nobody of his peers. Nobody looked like him. Nobody was his age. They were 50 and up. I don't get how 6 Black people got disqualified. They just act like we're so incompetent, you know?
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, six jurors that were going to be on the stand, they got denied. It was some crazy reason why each person couldn't go on the stand. But
Well,
why are we surprised?
the black man, he disqualified himself by the comment he made. At the moment he said, I can't send another black man to jail,
Mm.
he disqualified himself. They didn't have to disqualify him. That's why I said we can't get
What about
up
the other
there and
five?
lead with emotion.
What about the other five? Their minds were made up, right? Right?
I,
Any
I,
other trial, it takes
I go,
weeks.
yes, a murder trial usually take weeks, if not months. That's why I said he was railroaded from day one. And I did speak on the three teachers, the black teachers. I did speak on them, and I spoke on the black man. Now, I don't know about the two. You could fill me in on that because I don't know what's the why they gave that they dismissed them.
Are you there, Ash? All right. I think we're having issues with Ash phone as well. Ash, are you there? All right, I think so. All right. Okay, I'm gonna have to kick Ash out. So if you guys can hit that link, come up here. If you have something to say, we'll really appreciate it. Okay, OG, did you have more?
No, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. We know we're gonna have people like these people you're showing on these videos that say that when they know we live in a country where it's definitely about race. And these are the same people. Well, we get the equal opportunities and we get educated and we can get the jobs. But you're talking about a disproportionate amount of number of people that are black in America. Okay. So when you're talking the criminal justice system, the education system, the finance system, the health care system, the housing and renting system, we know there are many stories where we are discriminated and where a lot of times it's more disproportionately against us due to racism. We know that in America. So when they get up there and try to make it shouldn't be about race, and they're going to say because it's a black man. No, we need to say because it's a black man because we know that Karmelo was not going to get the same faith as Cajun Allison got. That's why we can talk about it. So if Cajun Allison can plead down and get a lesser charge, why couldn't Karmelo? They in the same state. You see the difference between a black young man and a white young man in America? So they can miss me with the bullshit. It's bullshit. And they know it. So when they get on platforms and say that crap, yeah, I say that's one of those ones that Harriet Tubman would have had to unalive.
Hmm.
All
Okay, well,
right.
let's look at a different side. Okay, check this out.
First and foremost, the one thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family because they have been legally lynched for the last year.
You must be high. I'm begging you. Is she high, Ty? High, Ted.
More so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse as well as the family of the Metcalfs.
You a piece of shit. You know what I'm talking about, you cockroach.
The energy right now is very white supremacy.
Now, clearly, I thought this was just a video, but why does the algorithm always give me these videos? What the fuck? What? I just put in his name.
First and foremost,
Okay, this is
the
bad.
one thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family because they have been legally lynched for the last year. And more so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse as well as the family of the Metcalfs. So the energy right now is very white supremacy. They have shown up to be the pigs that they display with hate. They are celebrating the loss of life and the loss of freedom. So that's the energy. We have a devastated family who didn't know that they was going to have to let their son go back into a holdover because we have an overzealous prosecutor who lied throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses in order to be a saving grace for the white community so that they can win an election. That's what it feels like right now.
We already see the prosecutor made clear that he wants it to be a long sentencing.
What I heard from this man today is indicative of why it's important that it's people that look like us that are in courtrooms like that. This man disregarded human life the entire trial. He invoked race. He equated Dallas County as being the ghetto, opposed to Frisco being safe. They propagandaed a photo of the deceased with Black people around praying, saying this is community. They used us as a prop in order to pitch their lynching. This man has been known to be an overzealous prosecutor when it comes to us. He see us as what was the statement that free labor. That's what he see us as. So I'm not surprised that this prosecutor, who has unethical background, would get up there and ask for the max when he know that this was self-defense.
All right. So let's go with OG first. Your thoughts, and I'll give it to Ash and Peach.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with most of what she said because I heard that it was a bunch of racist people out there and they were saying disparaging things. I heard one of them said that Carmelo needed to be hanging from a tree. I heard all kind of nefarious stuff, right? So again,
Hold on. Let me cut this off. Sorry.
Let me explain. Carmelo was a 17-year-old.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
again, when they try to say it's not about race and they get out there and they do what she said they were doing out there, it is absolutely about race. We knew from day one because it was a young Black boy and a young white man that it was going to be about race. And I wish everybody stopped having cognitive dissonance and gaslighting people into saying that it ain't, because this is the way of the world. This is the way of the world. So I agree with what she said. Absolutely.
All right. And you guys, if you here, can you please like this video, subscribe? That really helps us. If you like the video, like it for Karmelo Anthony. Let's go with Peach, and then I'll bring it to Ashley. Peach, what did you have to say, or what did you want to add to this?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I just wanted to just clarify a few things. I agree with you, Miss OG, but the only thing that I wanted to clarify was with Texas, they have capital murder, murder, and manslaughter, right? They don't have first degree, second degree, like Florida. I'm in Florida. We have different degrees of murder and all that stuff. But with Texas, it's capital murder, murder, and manslaughter. He was convicted of murder, which is just genuinely unlawfully unaliving someone, right? With no intent and no planning, right? So it's not it technically is not a first degree, but what I would say is that I do blame the family, right? He's 17. He don't know how to pick out and choose a lawyer. They are responsible as his parents. They should have did their due diligence. They did a GoFundMe. They raised over $1 million, and then from there they bought a house. They bought a new house, and I think they bought a new car instead of putting the money into the proper defense.
That is, I'll say that not true. It touched me, so the
OG, your phone is going in and out.
saying touched because it's so them
Your
and how
phone going OG
real
is
it
OG is really bad.
is.
I'm gonna put you down.
I'll go
OG
back.
is really, really bad. All right, you guys, let's get the likes up. Ash, your thoughts?
I think she's saying that the lawyer, the prosecutor, the judge, all of them knew each other. All of them were friends. All of them go out to lunch. I think that the family didn't, since they're good law abiding citizens, so they never got in trouble before. Like our homeboys, they already got a Bell's bombing locked in, stored in their cell phone, ready to go. They know their number by heart. But not Carmelo's family. So of course they're going to be green when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it was probably con. Somebody probably, oh, this is the best lawyer, this is the best attorney, and it was probably all just a scam in the game, just for the guy to get hired, just so he can flop the case. I think that's what she's saying.
I agree with that as well. But as parents, that's your child. You have to do your due diligence. I have a child too. Like we're all grown as parents, as adults. You have to do your due diligence. Just because somebody referred me, I'm going to do my homework on that person. The defense attorney was a prior
GG, are you on? I
public
can't hear you.
defender. Can y'all hear
What the
me?
hell?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, he was a prior public defender. So his catalog, his wins weren't that great if you really did your homework. He's not like a strong, powerful defense lawyer. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know where their priorities were when it came down to doing homework on this particular attorney, but they failed horribly. It all starts with the defense. It really did. Like Miss OG said, where's the character witnesses for Carmelo? There was nobody there to speak to his character, to speak to. And did y'all know he saved the guy? He saved another young man a few years back from drowning. Carmelo Anthony he was known in that city to do great things. Nobody's talking about that. I don't understand why the defense. I don't even know why they hired him, but also they could have brought that as a character point.
Real
I don't know. It's just. I just feel like the family failed, and in result to that, he got sold to the prison system. He really did. And I like Miss OG say, I pray to God that they don't just look at the appeal and deny it. 'Cause that's a highly it's highly likely that they're going to do that because they don't want to get looked at. They don't want the judge to get looked at. They don't want the prosecutor to get looked at or the defense attorney. Because, like the young lady just said prior to me, they all know each other. There's pictures circulating on social media of all of them together hanging out, pictures, family pictures. Like they know each other. So that was a clear conflict of interest from the beginning. It was like he was railroad from the beginning. Like it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. OG, are you back? What did you have to say?
Yeah, can you hear me okay now?
I can hear you better.
Okay. Now I want the lady that said about the GoFundMe money, they didn't buy a house or a car or anything of that nature. They actually was not allowed to even use the money for the defense. So I think they froze the money or whatever. And now that there's been a conviction in a sentence and everything, they're gonna probably have a hard time even collecting that money because I'm hearing, and I don't know if it's true. Correct me if I'm wrong. That say that when you have that type of felony charge on you, you are not allowed to use it for your defense or something. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's what I heard. But to the young lady that corrected me on the murder versus first, thank you, because that's what I was hearing, that it was first. And you're right. There are different degrees of murder, and the state of Texas does actually have capital, which, it could be the death penalty. It could be life without parole or with parole or whatever. But Thank you. I appreciate you
That
for correct.
Of course, I just wanted to clarify that point, like, cause murder. I even looked it up. I said, okay, he's convicted of murder, and I know I'm from the state of Florida, so we got first degree, second degree, third degree, then it goes down to manslaughter, involuntary. Like it breaks all the way down in Florida, but with Texas, they only got three categories: manslaughter, murder, and capital murder. That's it. But they basically deemed him under murder, which means that he didn't intend or plan to do that.
Yeah,
But like you said, he could have pleaded
right.
out. He could have pleaded out for manslaughter.
Or said there's a thing called because the guy I just mentioned, the white guy, Casson Allison, he got charged less with it's called criminally negligence homicide.
Right. In Texas, that means manslaughter. In Texas, it's called manslaughter.
See what again, didn't the defense because the defense know he was losing this case and he know he was going to lose it, right? Why didn't he ask for the plea prior to the they go for the verdict? Why wasn't that brought up or put on the table? Or if it's that, like, I don't know, saying what should have
Okay,
well
it's going out bad again.
we could
OG is really, really bad. I'm gonna let you down. All right. All right. Peach or Ash, anything else you guys wanted to say?
we need to come together. We need to do something about it because if we don't, this is going to continue to happen. The question is now, whose 17-year-old is next? Whose daughter is next? What are we going to do about it? We see that these laws, they don't apply for us, they apply to us. We can't defend ourselves. We can't, it's like we're literally in a cage. We need to come together. Everyone is showing us how they feel. Everybody, Asians. I mean, why can't we stick together? Because we're too busy trying to compete. We're too busy trying to look better than the next person. We're too busy. Every other culture stands together except for us. You can have two white stores, Macy's, whatever, Neiman Marcus, you know, Chanel, anything. They could be right across the street from each other, and they'll tell you to go across the street. You know, walk into, that store, see what they have. They're not bashing at each other, but black people, we have a restaurant next to each other. Oh, Charlie, he don't wash his hands. That's the kind of stuff that we do to each other. We always got to put each other down, and we can't come together. God is clearly showing us, if we don't come together as people, if we don't start putting Him first again, this is going to continue to happen over and over again. But we're too busy chasing designer. We're too busy chasing the soft life. We're too busy chasing vacations. We're too busy trying to chase the next like on Instagram. This is going to continue to happen to us because we're just falling. Our ancestors are flipping over in their graves, to be honest. They
No.
they 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 really are. If they knew what we were today, all that they fought for, all that they stood for, all that we're not as smart as we used to be. We're not creative as we used to be. And granted, it's not all of our fault, but we can go on and on, but we just have to come together as a people because it's going to keep. Who is next? The question is, who is next?
Don't know. All right. Well, thank you so much. All right. So, OG, I see you're still there, but I'm going to shut it down. So make sure you guys like, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next upstream. Bye.